Bridgeport, Callisburg, Decatur, Godley, Kennedale, Krum, Lake Country, Lake Dallas, Paradise, Pilot Point, Sanger, and Whitesboro. Now, at this time, I would like all the students who advanced to the area ATSSB competition, would you please stand? All area. Can we see it?
probably deduced that was the march on the program. His honor, one of my favorite marches by one of my favorite march composers, the other great American march composer, Henry Fillmore. Our next piece is called The Gathering of the Yeomen by Robert W. Smith, and he doesn't offer much by way of program notes to indicate what the inspiration of the piece was, just a little bit. He gives the definition of the word yeoman, which is not the yeoman I would have thought I might have had in mind. He says, yeoman, originally freeholders of the common class who worked their own land, a group of common men or farmers. So that served as the inspiration of this piece. A lot of fun to do. We hope you like it. The Gathering of the Yeomen. next number is called Lindbergh Variations. I'm sure all the adults are well aware of who Charles Lindbergh was. I asked the band this morning, who was Charles Lindbergh, and there were some of them that actually knew. But, well, it's a long time ago. I tried to explain to them, actually even before my time, what an incredible American hero in his day Charles Lindbergh was. And for the benefit of the young people in the audience, Charles Lindbergh flew the first solo plane flight across the Atlantic. Seems pretty routine stuff today, but in that time it was an incredible accomplishment. There had been 6 people before him that tried and failed and died in the process. And Lindbergh flew into Paris. And the reason this is kind of fresh on my mind is when I checked in the motel last night, I turned on the TV and started flipping through the channels to see if I could find anything interesting. And I came across the History Channel. They were playing a program called America's Time, narrated by Peter Jennings, and lo and behold, I thought this was really quite ironic. It hadn't been on 60 Seconds, but then it started talking about Charles Lindbergh and what had transpired in his solo flight across the Atlantic, and how 100,000 Frenchmen, some of them may have been Frenchmen, 100,000 Frenchmen met him, and they were just going wild. And then he came back and had an incredible ticker tape parade in New York, and was just an amazing American hero. We have nobody that comes even remotely close to that now as the hero status, or half, or generations probably. But what this piece is based on, actually, is not that. Lindbergh later married Anne Morrow. They had a child, and while the child was just an infant, now I know this is old stuff to many of you, but to others probably not, the child was kidnapped. And this was bigger even probably than the O.J. trial was at that time, and even more tragic. And the Lindberghs paid a $50,000 ransom, but the child was later found dead, and it was just an incredible tragedy. Well, there is a statue in the child's memory in Florida, apparently the only expression of that tragedy that is known to be, and he came across this, Mr. Smith, and was so touched and moved by it that he was inspired to write this piece. So this is what it's all about. The Lindbergh Variations is about the Lindbergh baby and the tragedy that ensued.
I've wondered for many, many years, it's sort of a chicken and egg question. There's no question but music students, a little prejudice, I think band students in particular, excel in school. They are among the very best students in school. In fact, I think they could be among, not only in terms of their academic achievements, but in terms of their citizenship, and as Mrs. Lindbergh said, their work ethic and all the rest. I haven't asked them this question, so I'm taking a little bit of a chance here. But just to prove my thesis, or disprove it as the case may be, but I think it'll be the former. Band, how many of you made all A's and B's on your last report card? Let's see hands here. This is the cream of the crop. Well, when I start saying, I always wondered that this is always the case. They're always the best students. Is it because music attracts students that are more highly motivated and are brighter? Or does their participation in music give them the kind of discipline they need to excel in other areas in addition to music? Their academics, for example. I've never been quite sure. I suspect it's probably both, actually. But I saw a report, some of you may remember seeing this, on the ABC News with Peter Jennings. My gosh, that's the second time I've mentioned his name tonight. Actually, this must have been fake, because I usually watch Dan Rather, but this particular night, he is a Texan after all. But this particular night, I had to be watching the ABC News, and they had a report about a high school in England. I guess they're concerned about test scores over there, just as we are. Anyway, this particular high school, it was a student body of about 1,000, and their test scores were rock bottom. And it was a great embarrassment to the teachers and a matter of considerable concern, as you can imagine. And the teachers had tried everything to no avail. They were still at the bottom of the pack. So I thought this was inspiring. What the teachers did is they got a little money together. They went to a second-hand store, and with their own money, they bought some old used band instruments, and they started a band in this school. Well, it caught on, and this was, I think, maybe 5 years later. They now had, in a school of 1,000 enrollment, they had 700 students involved in a variety of bands all day long. 700. And guess what happened to the test scores? They went through the roof. And I think that tells us something. This experience can make even better students out of already good students. And I applaud you parents for supporting your sons and daughters in this enterprise. Okay, I've missed a little bias, but I'm convinced this is true. It's the best thing you can do for your sons and daughters. And this is ample proof of it up here. These are wonderful young ladies and gentlemen. And they're going to be successes throughout their lives, whatever their respective fields of endeavor are. You're also very lucky to have a bunch of terrific band directors, because it takes more than parental support and highly motivated students. It takes band directors that are highly competent to achieve the kind of results that we've heard with the middle school band and with this band also. So congratulations all around. It's a product of everybody's effort, and certainly the administration. I don't want to leave them out. This is just terrific, and it's just such an honor for me to be a part of it. Now, about the next piece that we're playing. Mr. Lovejoy, actually, he and I have been emailing one another for months about this. After I submitted the program, you never quite know, well, how good is this band going to be? And I always try to play it safe. I'd rather pick music that's too easy than too hard. So I was pretty conservative, and he emailed me just quite recently and said, you might want to, just in case, you might want to bring along a harder piece. So I thought, yeah, sure. So, but anyway, I did. And I could tell very readily this morning that the music was a little bit easy. So we passed out this piece. It's called Variations. This is another variation. Variations on a Korean folk song by John Barnes Chance, who incidentally was a Texas composer. Unfortunately, no longer living. But he wrote several wonderful pieces for band, and which this is certainly one of my favorites. And so I think we took about 5 minutes on it before the lunch break today, and we dug in on it this afternoon for the first time. This is a grade 4 piece. And now don't prove me wrong, band, but I think they're going to do a terrific job of it. We'll find out. Thanks again for all of you do to make this possible. And again, directors, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of it. It's been a real treat. So. Well, we'll conclude with John Barnchance's Variations on a Korean Folk Song.